Before we get to today's episode, which is full of reflection looking into the holidays here, I want to offer a little more reflection to you all and just thank you. Over these last several months, the engagement has been awesome. When you start something like this, you never know. And you think to yourself, who in the world is going to want to listen to me drone on? But I've gotten some really great comments from you guys and some great feedback that is valuable to you. And I appreciate that. And several of you have shared this with others, and I'm just grateful. So huge gratitude to each of you for your feedback and your sharing with others. And I would ask you just to continue to share this. That is my request to you. If you find any value in this, share with someone else who you think will find the same. And in the meantime, enjoy today's episode. I don't know about you, but the end of the year is often a wild time of reflection for me. I think I shared with you all, I typically have started my year on December 1st, just conceptually. So I'm thinking ahead. By the time the clock turns to January, I've got some momentum, all of that. This year, I used November 1st because it seemed to coincide really well with the fall and kind of reflection and all that. But I still can't avoid the level of reflection that happens at the end of the year. That's, we're on a calendar fiscal year, so the company is closing at the end of the year. It's a natural close to the year. The kids are off school, all those kind of things. It's all kind of going, right? We're on the calendar year. And obviously if you celebrate Christmas and all those things, you got all these holidays in, and it can be a really wild time. And obviously you've got lots of things, not just reflection. You have all of the stuff happening, right? If you are trying to close business and get it done, get things in before the end of the year, trying to get things together at work so you can be free for the holidays or to travel or whatever. If you got kids, maybe you have magic going on in the house with the Christmas holiday and all that comes with it. And so as I reflect back on this year, it's a great year. It's a fantastic year. We celebrated our 20th anniversary at Mountain Leverage. We accomplished some really great things in the market. We started this podcast, which is cool. We also, my family, my kids are doing some cool stuff and really thriving. And it's just, life is good in many ways. And so 2024 on the books, on the record, will be a fantastic year. That said, there are a lot of things I wanted to accomplish from a business perspective, as well as personal perspective, in the community, all things that I didn't meet. And I get it. That's the way goal setting works to a certain degree. What did Lombardi say, right? You chase excellence or chase perfection and catch excellence along the way. That's cool. I get it. But man, I set goals because the things on the other side of those goals are what I want. Not necessarily the goal. Sometimes it's what attaining that goal brings to you in your life or whatever. And so in seeking flourishment, I've missed a few things. And in this reflection period where I'm heading towards the end of the year, I've came, I think, to what maybe the top three things, and I've got a long list of things of why, what I maybe could have done better. But I've got three things that I wanted to share with you all that I think I fell short on, and in all authenticity of this podcast, I'm sharing with you. Here we are, and also what I plan to do about it, candidly. And so let's start with the first one. First one is I found in 2024, and certainly towards the latter half of that, I really got caught up in a lot of reactive work that was coming to me. Now, some of y'all may, well, that's my entire life. I get it. And some of us are in reactive roles and jobs and things, and that's all well and fine. And that's cool. When I look at my day and how it's run, I tend to think of myself as a deliberate worker. I want to focus on the work at hand, what's important to me, and I want to run my day. However, I was less deliberate. I was less, there's planned work, there's reactive work. And then, there's this other work to have planned work. That means you have to have some planning time. And so I did a little more of ride the wave, and that's okay. And a lot of us do that. And I've done that a lot through the years because, man, some of the waves keep coming. They don't slow down, and there's always a wave to ride. But when I do that, it just goes by faster because I'm doing what someone or something or whatever force wants me to do as opposed to what I need to do. Now, that's not saying I didn't do a lot of deliberate work this year. I did. But when I look at the ratio of how much deliberate work and planned work I was doing versus how much reactive work, reactionary stuff that was just coming to me to handle or do, or just it was served to me one way or the other, it's not the ratio I want. So I'm going to fix that. I'm already fixing it, and these fixes don't come overnight, but I will fix that in 2025, where I want that ratio to be a lot higher. I don't know. Is it 80-20? Is it 70-30? I don't know, but it needs to be a lot higher in my role. And in different roles I've had through the years, maybe a little more reactive work, but maybe 50-50 is okay. Or even the opposite side, that 40-60 or something. I'm not sure. But I know in my role today as a founder and as a father and as a friend of my community, I need to be much more proactive, deliberate, planned work as opposed to being reactive and being driven by something else. And so how I'm going to fix that, I'm already in. So years ago, a couple decades ago, actually, I had implemented a system, getting things done. That's a popular task management system. There's lots of other kind of methods out there. I read Deep Work over the years and found that to be really insightful in terms of how to manage your schedule. And again, everybody's job roles in life are different. So some of these things can apply or not apply to you, and that's okay. But I'm gonna dust off some of those methods and principles that I've used through the years. Essentialism is another great book that kind of focuses on what's the important thing, the one thing. I mean, there's so many books I could roll through them, and a lot of those ideas are still floating in my head. And I guess I believed I was doing them, but when I look and reflect at my actual work operation, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm following some of the tenets that I believe I am and I believe are important. So I'm gonna double down on some of those, maybe reread some of those books, but I own those tenets in my core at this point, and I think I just need to be deliberate about making sure I'm executing them. So that's taking back my schedule. So I've revamped my whole schedule in terms of calendaring, and I'm going to try to be disciplined and stick to that. I won't be 100%. It's just not how it goes. I don't build any system 100% because I know darn well I'm not going to get there. But the notion of just being more deliberate about my time. When I wake up in the morning, I'm not jumping on email. I'm not jumping on social media. I'm not jumping on anything else. I'm going directly to where my mind wants to take me in that moment. And I'm looking and planning my day and doing things. I'm creating a couple moments throughout the week where I can sit down and grab the reactive work that's come in and all the noise that's come in. And I'm going to pull that together, plan that out, and then deliberately work on it when it works best for me. Again, there's still going to be reactive work. I'll handle it. It's fine. But I think that's an important piece to why this year went so fast for me and why maybe I didn't achieve some of the goals I wanted to achieve. You know, I'm a better leader. And I hate to even say that, sounds arrogant to say leader, but I'm in a role that it is what it is. And I'm better in that role. And I'm better in the business. I'm better as a father, and I'm better in my community when I am being able to be deliberate and planning my work. So that kind of goes to the next thing, which is more esoteric. And I don't know where it came. I mean, I read it somewhere, maybe multiple times through the years, and it finally hit. Nothing's new under the sun kind of thing. I mean, it's always been out there, but this notion of who I am and telling myself who I am. And now we're getting meta here. I get it. But the whole idea of, I think I am the person who is working deliberately. I am the person who drives my own day, and it's planned work, and where I'm going it's not a control thing. I mean, lots of people direct your day. I get it. That's cool. But in terms of my focus of course I'm that person, but guess what? I wasn't being that person as often as I wanted. So then I realized why. Well, then it came down. This is the second thing right here. The attention to detail of the smallest things you do that bringing your best self to everything you do is impactful across and echoes throughout and across your entire life. And so when I look at it, I have not been the best Alex I could be in every thing I'm doing. And I get it. Again, we can't always be 100% and on and awesome and all that, but we can sure try, and we can sure make that a priority. And when we fall short of that, we can look at that and go, that's not like me. And so that's just it. How I'm going to solve that is a simple thing. And again, I read this years ago. That's like me. When there's a moment to do something, and it's so silly, guys. Now you can mock me. I get it. But like if I'm walking through the house and there's something on the floor that needs picked up, if I walk over that's not like me. But if I pick that up and say, that's like me, I'm do that, and either throw it away or put it away or whatever it is. That's a super small example. Put that in every instance, whether you're at work and there's something needing done, somebody needing a hand, an action needing taken, a call needing made, the last call of the day needing made, whatever it is, you got to do that extra thing or the thing that could be just as easy to walk over. That's not like me. I'm not the guy who walks over that stuff. And so just like with this planned work versus reactive work, that's not like me. I'm driving my day. I'm that guy. And so the phrase of doing these things and thinking to myself, that's like me. That's like me. You would be shocked. I mean, for me, I was shocked when I started years ago. I implemented that kind of thing of just, that's like me. And we talked to the kids about it when they were little, and it was magic because I think we all have narratives of ourselves, and those are powerful, and we got to be careful of those, of course. And oftentimes it's a lot of negative talk. We talked about that with with Frank, right? With Frank, who tells me how poorly I'm doing at everything. I think sometimes our narratives are too much of that. And so when we do the right thing in the smallest micro moment, and we say, that's like me, or, hey, that's who I am, that is magic. That's magic. So as silly as that sounds, that seems like a super simple fix to this, but that whole idea of that's like me, or that's who I am, and lots of times I'll say, to the kids, we're Renemans. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? Well, we're Renemans. That's why. And so maybe enter your name or whatever you want. That just helps secure my identity and solidify it in my mind. And I just act better off of that. So that's really important. I think that can be a small thing. Doesn't seem big, but in those small moments where you could choose to do something else, do the right thing, and do the right thing by you, what you think it is, and then say, hey, that's who I am. That's how I operate. That's like me, or whatever phraseology you want to come up with. It's powerful. It's powerful. And my thanks to those I know there's some studies, and I could probably take some time and research it. There's some studies around that this is legit. There's science behind this. The last one, and I'm telling you, I could go, these are the top three, but I could go for a list, and maybe there's certainly self-care. I think that's a big thing, but that's not gonna be my third. That's my third. I found, for me, to flourish, I have to flourish from a place of abundance. And I think it's so easy as this year got on, and it's so easy anytime. Because if you're out in the business world and you're out, running your company or whatever you're doing, you're always fighting. I mean, it's a world of scarcity to a certain degree, and you begin to feel that. Even if you're an abundant person, you begin to feel that you got to fight and scrap and crawl, and yeah, there's battle. That's all good, and I get that. When you're at home, you think about your time, and all of a sudden it seems so finite and so unable to give all the time you need to all the things. And I think it's easy for your brain, my brain anyway, and my heart to change and begin to feel like it's scarce, like everything's scarce. And as you age, and I'm not that old, but I'm not that young anymore. And the notion of life on this earth, I count how many Christmases I have left with my kids and my family as the unit we are today, and how many Christmases I have left potentially in my entire life, barring any catastrophic thing. Just look at natural life. You begin to look really scarce. You start thinking about scarcity. And then I begin to behave out of a mindset of scarcity. And for me, man, that is toxic. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I've got to look at abundance. And I firmly believe life is abundant, and there are opportunities everywhere. Maybe not the exact thing you want and in the exact way you want it. And sure, you need to work for it. I think that's part of abundance. The hard work is part of being abundant. That work is there. The energy is there. Apply it in a focused way, and great things come of it. And, sometimes you lose, and you got to dust yourself off and get up and wipe the blood off your lips and get back in. Right. So all that's real and good, but I just, that notion of feeling abundance and feeling abundance in the world, it's hard sometimes. It's hard. I don't know what your year was like. Some of us have lost people, and we've had huge failures. We've had challenges. We've had, you look whether you're what happens in the world today. You've got war and all kinds of challenges, right? I don't know where you are or what your situation is, but I do firmly believe that regardless of whatever situation we're in, a mindset of abundance is super helpful. And I get it. This feels all artsy fartsy, like let's put up our vision boards and let's do all these things. And I say that tongue in cheek. I think there's absolutely power in where we put our vision. So I'm not making fun of that stuff, but it's so easy. That stuff can be taken so far. Like, oh, I'll sit here on a cushion and dream about it and it'll happen. Well, no, you got to get out and work and do the things, put the effort in. I'm just saying the mindset. Is it a mindset of abundance or scarcity? And for me, maybe, hey, whatever, man, whatever floats your boat. For me, a mindset of abundance is just absolutely magic. And just so much on the opposite side of that continuum, the mindset of scarcity is absolutely killer. And I've found myself towards the end of this year having more of a mindset of scarcity, and that is so unlike me. And so that has allowed me to, I think, veer off of some of the paths that I was on, the goals I was looking for. And that we can go to the many, many more things on the list of why I didn't land where I wanted to land today or this year. It's abundance. So, yeah, with that, I urge you to find the abundance in your world. I don't know. Maybe you're already there, and I hope you are. I really hope you are, because that is magic. But regardless of any of our situations, and I've been in some rough spots, and maybe not as rough as you. Maybe you win, fine. But I've been in some rough spots, and there's always an opportunity to find abundance there. Always. And I that doesn't come without compassion. Of course, I'm compassionate for whatever situation you're in. And I would hope you have compassion for the situations I'm in that maybe aren't fun and aren't easy. But none of that negates the fact that we couldn't have some abundance in our mind and in our hearts. And I think for me, those three areas right there are probably the main reasons why I maybe have fell short of any goal this year. Now, I say all that, and we'll double down on abundance. I had a great year. I had a lot of really good stuff happening. And a great year doesn't mean good stuff is happening necessarily. I am on the path to flourishment. Yes. Have there been moments where I have been completely off, and some of this is there? Yes, it is. But I am flourishing, and I have so many things to be grateful for as the year rounds out, and as we look to the Christmas holiday with our kids and family, and I just have so much to be grateful for. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's happening today. But I am absolutely grateful for each of you that are listening, the friends of mine who rib me about this thing on a continual basis. It's fun. And it reminds me that there's some good stuff. You can find all the bad stuff in the world. There's no question. It's out there. Look at it. Doom scroll all you want, right? It's there. But there's a lot of good stuff. And so with that, and as we go into the Christmas holiday, for those of you celebrating that, I hope it's fantastic and magical. And those of you that aren't, take advantage. The rest of the world is just jump in and take advantage of that holiday time and enjoy some time with yourself and your family and loved ones and friends and whatever you're doing. And ultimately, I hope wherever you are, I really mean this. This is not just a tagline to a silly podcast. I hope wherever you are flourishing. I hope today's episode and our initiative in general has in some way contributed to your flourishment. And if so, as I'll ask as always, please share it with a friend or someone you think who could benefit from what we're doing here. And additionally, if you have ideas or thoughts or changes you'd like to see, please reach out. You can email us at flourish@mountainleverage.com or fill out our audience survey linked in the show notes below. I'm so grateful for all that we've received so far, and I think if you've been listening for a while, you'll see we've tried several different things, and we're open to trying more. So, again, so grateful for all of you, the sharing, joining us on this journey, and I appreciate all the feedback and look forward to what we have going forward. So thanks, everyone, and I hope wherever you may be, you're flourishing.